Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and it's time to talk about one of the most controversial topics in MTG, but I will mention that once you see it from all sides and think about it logically, it's really a clear decision and there's only one side you could possibly be on. The proposed scenario is, should Wizards in Modern Masters 2017 or pretty much elsewhere, any of their, reprint sources, should they reprint the crap out of basically every single Modern card that's expensive and rare right now? Basically just take 50% of all cards that are above $30 and just reprint every single one of them as rares in the new set, or maybe mythics. But then, don't print the set conservatively. Print 10 times what they normally would just to get the cards out there. I think this would be a win-win-loss. So not a win-win-win, but close to it. Now, the knee-jerk reaction, if they did this, everybody would be up in arms, probably on Reddit, because those are the stupidest people on the planet. They'd be screaming, oh, this is a money grab. This is so unfair. This is just them being greedy. They're trying to profit off the secondary market and take money away from investors, and this is so awful. I am 100% certain that that would be the general reaction for a little bit. And yeah, it would make Wizards a ton of money on something that they typically don't touch and don't make money on, which is older formats, cards that aren't in standard, and basically sealed product that was printed a long time ago. Be it sealed or open to singles, either way, that's Modern's fuel. That's what they use. So, yeah, people would buy it. I mean, even if they printed 10 times the normal amount of Modern Masters 3, people would buy it, and they would make a ton of money because, they know exactly how much they're making if they print X amount of boxes and sell them for X to distributors. It's pretty simple. And, if they included Snapcaster and, Phyrexian Obliterator and Tarmogoyf and just anything expensive, anything people want, fetch lands, print all 10, who cares? And, you can't print everything, so maybe 50% or 2/3 do adjust for the fact that Modern might shift a little bit. But if they did that, yeah, they would sell the boxes. I mean, they would make some money, they would sell the boxes. Now, they could take that money, that enormous amount of money that they don't normally have, because normally they make the vast majority of their money on standard sealed. So all of a sudden, they've got this monster product making as much or more money as a standard release. All this extra money could go into fixing MTGO, it could go into hiring more staff, better, quality control standards on printing. Knowing how unbelievably stupid, irresponsible, selfish, and clueless their staff is, I feel like maybe that's not where the money would end up going. They just seem incapable of fixing anything at a basic level, but let's pretend that more money would actually fix these problems. Maybe they could make foils not bend, they could improve the print quality, improve the humidity resistance of the paper, whatever they would do, let's just assume that's what the extra money would benefit us. And as much as I don't want to give Wizards money right now, I mean, it might help. But here's the real good that would come out of it. So win number one is they would make a ton of money. Win number two is that people could actually afford to get into Modern right now. Now that's good for 30 different reasons, but let's just run down the list. First, they could bring back Modern as a format in the Pro Tour because people would actually give a crap about it, because more people would play it because it would be more affordable. Now second, and yes, I identify as this group for sure, if people got sick of the current state of Standard, if they didn't like a mechanic, they didn't like the dominance of a deck, they don't like 3-color because 3-color is just broken as can be, then they could go play Modern for a little bit. That's exactly what I did for the Tarkir block. As soon as Dragons hit, I was like, this is a load of crap. I am out of here. I'm sick of it. No matter what I build, it cannot compete with Jeskai or Esper. Or, God, there was a Mardu deck too, I think. Those 3 decks couldn't be beaten. There was nothing else that could even come close to that level of control. I was building some war crimes of decks, and they were just unbelievable. Anybody that wasn't running one of those 3 decks would just get crushed by them, but as soon as I went up against them, I didn't stand a chance in hell. I couldn't even keep anything on the board. Standard was so broken and so expensive, they lost a huge portion of their player base. Here's what I did, though. I switched to Modern because my old local gaming store, they made the intelligent decision, I know, I'm surprised too, to bring in Modern for Friday Night Magic. So they had both Modern and Standard you could choose. And I would say the majority of people played Modern. Basically, if you had a Modern deck, you played Modern. Well, if you dropped $1,000 on a Jeskai deck or an Esper Control deck, you probably played that. But anybody else jumped off that ship. Okay, what if I didn't have Modern? Was I getting pretty damn sick of going 1-4 and 0-5 at F&M? Or even 3-2? Hell yes, I was. There was no reason to show up. If I know I can't win, screw it. I mean, it's not fun playing against those decks because you're not even playing Magic. You can't keep anything on the field or resolve any spell. I'd rather go outside and throw rocks against a wall. It's pretty much the same damn thing. So if there wasn't Modern, if I couldn't break into Modern, I would have stopped playing MTG. Simple as that. Now, you guys know that all 4 of my decks are cheap as hell. I think my top Modern deck still is under $200, although Black Death built the right way with Phyrexian Obliterators, that one's a little high. You can easily build it without them, just put in like Squelching Leeches or something and you got yourself like a $50 deck, no big deal. So, I'm one of the better deck builders and I can build a competitive Modern deck. It's obviously not on par with a tier 1, but I would call at least 2 out of my 4 decks tier 2. I mean, they are just horrific to go up against. Beholder and Black Death just shred everything in their path. Even Tap Dance is pretty damn hard to go up against depending upon what you're playing. By the way, there's a 5th deck coming and it is a war crime. It is literally word for word the type of deck that 2 of the staff members at Wizards just said that they hope nobody ever builds again. They're the most unfair type of deck and they're doing everything within their power to stop people from playing decks like this. So that's what I built. Because Modern is broken and they refuse to ban anything. If they don't like my deck, ban a card in it. See if I give a crap. I'd throw a damn party. Yay, my deck is worthless and illegal, but I don't have to play up against this damn card anymore. So yeah, definitely hit the subscribe button because that deck's almost done. You're not going to want to miss that one. Now, if you thought like black, white, green shutdown decks or whatever the hell people are playing, if you thought those were bad, if you thought Ad Nauseam was bad, oh, you don't even know what fresh hell you've stepped into with my next deck. It's called Beam Me Down, and you might have seen one called Beam Me Down Junior. It didn't work as well. It was in Standard. But anyway, back on track. I built cheap decks, and I could compete with them, and I won quite a few Friday Night Magics, or, top 5 win, If I get a pack, I call it a win, okay? But yeah, it was fun to play. It was competitive. I stood a chance of winning. If I lost all the rounds, fine. At least it was like kind of a close match. Even if it was a blowout, I knew in the back of my head that I could have won. If I was playing against a different person with a different deck, or if I had a little bit different pulls, I could have won. So at least the opportunity was there. In Standard, no. And I didn't like any of the mechanics from that entire damn block. So if you have Modern as an option, and it's just not for most people, they get sick of Standard and they stop playing. And it happens. A lot of people said, I stopped playing when blank was released. It wasn't, oh, I stopped playing randomly in the middle of a cycle. No, it's when this was released and this deck, cycled out, I just didn't like the new one and I didn't keep playing. Well, Modern, they don't ban a lot and it doesn't change much. So if you have a Modern deck, over the next 3 years, you could probably hold on to that deck and keep playing with it. So at any time, you could resort to Modern and play it, even if it's on like a different day. Like most local gaming stores will have, F&M, it's usually Standard, it's usually on Friday. Yeah, it's on Friday. But then, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, they hold a Modern tournament and you could just show up to that instead. So then when a new set comes out again, you could say, hey, I'm getting back into Standard. That new set looks pretty cool, looks pretty fun. Or hey, Conspiracy, oh, that looks fun, I'll play that. It's customer retention, and Wizards is just focusing like a laser on recruiting new players, getting younger players, recruiting rich people, and of course expanding outside of the, hey, everybody's a 20-year-old male demographic. They're trying to get, women into Magic and all that. So to them, the people who are going to quit, whatever, we need to keep recruiting people. Well, eventually you're going to run out of people. That's a stupid business plan. It's just dumb. It doesn't work. So let's say they reprint to death every card in Modern Masters 2017. Now you can build whole decks for like $50 to $100 and then keep them for years, theoretically. Ta-da! Money in Wizards' pocket and retention of customers. A lot of happy people. A lot of people who can finally afford to play Magic. Because if you don't like Standard around Dragons of Tarkir, you didn't like it because it was too expensive, you're not going to say, oh, I have a solution. I'm going to spend $1,000 on a Modern deck. No, that's kind of illogical. Not a lot of budget decks are competitive either. I mean, mine are the exception for sure. I purposely avoided cards that were crazy expensive because 1, it would probably work similarly to other decks that are out there, and 2, prohibitively expensive for everybody who watches the video. By the way, that new deck, it's maybe $30, maybe. I think I spent less than that on it. The creatures and the spells are unheard of, but the deck is just devastating. There is just nothing you can do. Oh, I cannot wait to finalize that deck. You guys are just going to have a damn heart attack when you see it. So yeah, you see my new deck, you build it for 30 bucks and you're like, yeah, awesome. Woo, go me. Woohoo, I can play Modern. Imagine that feeling, except you could build like a tier 1 deck. So let's look into the negative, because I've been saying all positives about this. You know, if they were to just reprint everything to oblivion and just screw over everybody and just lower the cost of Modern as a whole, what would be the downside? One, greedy and incredibly stupid investors would lose money. So people who are sitting on 100 Snapcaster Mages pretending like it's a guaranteed investment, those idiots would lose money. When did Wizards say that Modern was a guaranteed investment, and when did they say that they would never reprint anything expensive? Because I'm actually pretty sure they said the opposite. I think you stupid investors are actually thinking of something called the reserve list. That's what you should have been investing in this whole time, because that's guaranteed not to get reprinted. In Modern, you could lose 80% of your investment at any point, okay? They could reprint anything at any time for any reason. If you invested in it, you're a freaking crazy person, or at least if it's the majority of your, like, portfolio. And of course, Vintage and Legacy is dying, so honestly, if you're investing in MTG singles at all, you're kind of dumb. It's not stable. Yes, there is potential for profit, and there's a pattern of profit, but, well, they might make Modern Masters 3 really, really good. There's a pretty good provable rumor that it already has at least 5 of the fetch lands and a Snapcaster in it, so, you know, watch out. Unfortunately, one of the primary blocks they're focusing on is, like, Return to Ravnica. Yeah, a lot of big Modern cards in there, all 2 of them. I think the cards from RTR are like $10 or something, the couple that are used in Modern. So it looks like Wizards is leaning towards conservatively printing absolute garbage and nothing. Who knows why. I say just rip the Band-Aid off, piss off the people you're going to piss off, and just eat the bad PR. I mean, it's not like they don't generate bad PR daily with every single thing they do. It would be no different, just another Tuesday or whatever. But let's see, who else would they piss off besides investors? Well, probably everybody who has a Modern deck. Every unreasonable, selfish, arrogant jerk that has a Modern deck, I should say. Because they're the types who think nobody should get to play Modern but them. If you don't have $1,000, get the hell out. And they get to play Modern for free for all this time and then cash in their deck for an actual profit. So they're actually making money this whole time while they're playing with the deck for 3 years straight. You know, and like going to tournaments and winning prizes and that sort of thing. So they were smart enough and rich enough to invest all the money in their Modern deck. And not only do they get the money out of it, they get a profit out of it, and they get to play with it the whole time. So that's it. Anything that causes that to not happen is of course tragically unfair to them. Screw those people. I don't care if they quit. Okay, here's the thing about those people. They aren't Wizards customers. I've said it before, I'll say it again. They don't buy anything from Wizards. They get everything on the singles market. Everything's like 10 years old, and they don't touch Standard. So if you take their $1,000 deck and make it worth $150 and they get all pissed off and leave the game, you are literally losing nothing. All they're doing is bad-mouthing the game, and anybody can see through their crap. So really, I mean, who cares if they leave the game? I mean, what are they going to do? Leave Modern to play Standard? Okay, welcome to being a Wizards customer again. And okay, for every one person that would get all pissed off that their deck's worth nothing, 10 people would start playing Modern, because now you could build a Modern deck for about the same price as a Standard deck. You give people options, you up the player base, you give them more competitive formats to play, more supported formats, bring it back to the Pro Tour. People aspire to be good at both formats. It would just be healthy for Magic in general, and it would make more people happy than it would make unhappy. Now, the mega dark side of this is any local gaming store that's, you know, struggling to make a penny off of Kaladesh right now, and they're holding on to 10 to 20 sealed boxes of everything going all the way back. So they got like a, I don't know what, like a $400 or $500 box of Scars and Mirrodin, whatever the hell they're up to. Pretty sure that's only worth the amount that it's worth, mostly because of Modern. Actually, I have no idea what's in that set. I have no idea if it's Legacy or Vintage heavy. You got me. But you get what I'm saying. I mean, most people want, you know, the original Zendikar because of the fetch lands, and the fetch lands are primarily in Modern. So if they reprinted all 10 fetch lands and then printed 10 times the normal amount of Modern Masters 3, you got yourself some $7 fetch lands. So guess what's going to happen to a box of Zendikar? It's probably going to go down by half or something. I mean, it would be immense. So yeah, it would harm the local gaming stores, but they're also kind of playing the game of I'm an investor, I'm making a stupid unstable investment, oh no, I lost money. It would suck to liquidate it. I mean, there'd probably still be a profit, because we're talking boxes that were bought for 70, 80, 90 bucks, and they've been sitting on them ever since. So if they fall from 300 to 150, whatever, they still made a profit. I mean, it's not like the boxes are worth zero. I mean, come on. So yeah, hurting the local gaming stores, that would be bad, because they could get pissed off enough to no longer carry Wizards products, but they'd only be shooting themselves in the foot at that point. And, hello, the same people would be making money on selling boxes of Modern Masters 3, like, a lot of money. That is already a 40 to 50% profit margin product. So if they get 10 times the normal amount and people are interested in it and they can move the product, yeah, they're going to rake in some money. I would forget about my Zendikar boxes really damn quick if I sold, $100,000 worth of Modern Masters 3. So really, the only people that they'd piss off are unreasonable and selfish people and greedy investors that are driving up the cost of the cards and controlling the supply. This might sound a little insensitive, but I don't care about those people. Get those people out of my way. Get them out of the system. Just go away so the rest of us can play Magic, so that people can play Modern without having to sell their card to do it. So now there's one more point that needs to be brought up. Why the hell is Wizards so conservative about printing all these good cards? I mean, it seems like any card that's good, they throw it in a Modern Masters set, and then they elevate it to Mythic rarity so that there's like none that are printed, and then the price really doesn't even go down on most of the cards. They just barely get Modern a little bit more accessible for a couple people, and then that increases the demand, and across the board, it's pretty much a wash. There's two reasons. One, they're afraid of the bad press, the bad mouthing, and the rage quitting of all the existing Modern players when they tank the value if they were to really heavily reprint some stuff. The only other option is that they're afraid that if they print 50% of all high demand cards and then wait 2 years, do it again, oops, they've reprinted every single card in Modern. Now nobody wants Modern Masters, what would that be, 5 at that point? So if they're really thinking that far ahead and assuming that Modern won't change at all and that the current standard sets that are coming out in the meantime will not change Modern or create new decks, 4 years, that's a little unreasonable. Plus 4 years, people lost those cards. And if they get more people interested in Modern, it becomes a bigger format, cheaper, more people play it, the demand automatically went up. So you're going to need more reprints as it comes down to 500 a deck, then 300 a deck, then 100 a deck. Now everybody wants to play it, which would obviously, push the prices back up. Just in time for them to print another Modern Masters. I think it would be brilliant. Just take a third, half, 2/3, whatever, of the high demand cards, throw every one of them suckers into Modern Masters, reprint the fetch lands every single set. You've got nonstop demand. I don't think people would stop buying it under those circumstances. So what do you guys think? Are you one of the angry, selfish Modern players who thinks it's all about you and you should get to play for free and sell your deck for double? Or are you one of the reasonable people? Yeah, I loaded the crap out of that question. Get over it. Please leave down in the comment section if you're a selfish jerk or a reasonable human being, and don't forget to like the video. Or dislike it, and Martin Shkreli wins. Or whatever the hell that little troll's name is. By the way, he was auctioning off the opportunity to punch him once in the face. I totally should have kickstarted that, because last time I punched a force plate, let's just say if I hit him, he'd be dead. 100% chance he'd be dead. And then we wouldn't have to worry about Martin Shkreli buying up all the Black Lotuses and being a general douche in the MTG community. Hooray. So anyway, yeah, what do you guys think about this whole thing? Is there an angle that I'm missing about it? Is there some unforeseen consequences? Let me know, and definitely hit that subscribe button because you do not want to miss Beam Me Down. Holy crap, that deck is insane. I will see you guys next video.